This the TempahZone podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is episode 11 of the TempahZone podcast with your host, me, Amir Max. And, you know, there's one thing that's really on my mind this week, and that was Anderson Paak's new album. But we'll get to Oxnard. We'll get to that. Don't worry. We're going to get a review on the album. But right now, I got to talk about Young Thug. Now, Young Thug was released from prison, and he violated his probation. And because of that now, he must undergo 2 drug tests a week. Now, you're probably wondering, what did Young Thug do to get himself in this situation? Well, according to Page 6, in September, he was indicted on 8 felony charges, and these charges include possession and intent to distribute marijuana, methamphetamine, and hydrocodone. I definitely pronounced that wrong, and I pronounced that wrong because I don't do those hard drugs, kids, all right? So don't do drugs, all right? That's all. I'm just putting in a little PSA for the kids that might be listening to this podcast, all right? Don't mess with a drug you can't pronounce. All right? That's just messed up. Don't mess with drugs at all. I'm putting out the wrong message. All right? But you know what I'm trying to say, all right? And the month before all this happened, Mr. Thug was booked on a felony weapons possessions charge that came from an arrest that happened at a David Buster's in Hollywood following a party and a birthday party that he had at that time. Now, with all this happening, the only thing I can really think to myself is, what do you expect from a dude named Young Thug? I mean, really? Did you really think that he would pass a drug test? Did you really think Mr. Thugger, would do well with this? Nah, man. You're gonna fail that drug test, man. And this is where I start to get a little upset, you know what I'm saying? Because, man, the way the system's set up, you know, this just ain't right, you know? There needs to be another way the system can set this up. Because I guarantee you that Young Thug, you know, failed a drug test because of marijuana. And, like, for some weed, the way that, you know, Stephen A. Smith says it, but, you know, Stephen A's against it, but I'm for it. Like, you know, so you want to smoke weed, go ahead, man. Ain't nothing wrong with some weed. Weed ain't never killed nobody. But really, like, for some weed, somebody gonna go back to prison? Are you for real? That's really what's going on? Man, get the hell out of here with that bullshit, man. That's stupid, all right? That's just not smart, okay? Because the way I see it is that marijuana don't hurt nobody, so therefore why should somebody go to jail for it? And it's like legal in Mass states. Mass is gonna have, I think by the time this podcast comes out, there'll be 2 dispensaries that'll be selling recreationally. Like, it's ridiculous that he had to serve prison time for this bullshit. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, luckily he's out and he's doing his thing, but you know, the thing I've realized is that, you know, we don't want to see Young Thug go to prison, man. Young Thug's too important to hip-hop. And for a while, I wasn't really on board with the Young Thug train. I really wasn't for some reason. His sound was very different. But, you know, through the years, I started to like it more and more and more and more and started to realize his nuance and everything different that he was doing. Young Thug, man, is just, he knows what to do on a track. He knows how to sound unique. And that's why I don't like Gunna. I'm just going to randomly throw in Gunna in there. Gunna sounds like Young Thug light. And I don't like that. I mean, like, it's like, yo, like, if I just want to listen to this sound, let me just go to Young Thug. But anyway, let me not shit on Gunna. Like, the Young Thug, man, is a very important figure in hip-hop, man. Man, you heard the song Sin with Jaden Smith? Like, the things that man does with his voice, you know, and I did it again. Like, like, who's doing that, man? Ain't nobody doing that with their voice, man. he's using his vocals in ways that we've never really seen before, you know? So Young Thug is getting his credit. He even got a co-sign from Sir Elton John, man, and that right there threw me off. I did not expect a co-sign from Mr. Sir Elton John. Well, Sir Elton John. I just like throwing Mr. at the beginning of people's names. But anyway, Young Thug, it's good to see him back out. I saw him at the Astro World Festival that Travis Scott had, and he looked like he looked happy. You know, everybody was saying what's up to him, and it was really good to see, because Young Thug doesn't deserve this, man. I mean, he's got 8 felony charges, but you know, it's not like he's, you know, hurting people like that. You know, he's not, you know, physically harming someone by his own hand. So I don't think he deserves any of this, and it's good to see him out, and hopefully, man, we can get some new music from him, because Young Thug pumps out music, man, like McDonald's pumps out burgers. It's just like, yo, here we go, take that. That's Young Thug, man, with the music. So it's good to see him back out, man, and I hope that he doesn't go back to prison. I really don't, and hopefully it's not for a long time. You know, he needs to stay out of there, man. Like I said, the way the system's set up, man, they need to do it differently. You know, we all know how systemic it is, and, you know, how the system, you know, just puts you back in the place that you were before, and it's hard to get out of it. And that's so unfortunate. We need to completely abolish all the things that the government has done with the system, and, you know, redo it and find a better way so that people don't go back to prison for some weed. You know, it's ridiculous, man. But it's good to see that people out here getting, you know, shit together, like Lil Xan. I'm not a fan of Lil Xan's music, but it's good that I like to see people make change in their lives and understand that there's a bigger picture. So it's good to see Lil Xan be the bigger man and battle this situation, because too many artists we've lost to drug addiction, especially the opioid addiction, man. I mean, Mac Miller's death, I think that was part of the reason that woke up Lil Xan and said, man, I should really stay away from these drugs before I accidentally die from this shit. Like, I'm not trying to lose my life at the age of 21. I think Lil Xan's 21, 22. He's a young dude, man. He's my age, man. So, you know, I think Lil Xan saw that his future could be in jeopardy because of this shit, and realized that it's not worth it. It really isn't, you know. So I'm happy that he made this move. I'm really happy for him. He stepped up and said, yo, like, I want to make sure I put out music for my fans, and I don't want them to lose me, you know, because I know that people out here love me, and therefore I'm going to make sure I do what I got to do to stay around for as long as I possibly can. I mean, not really, like this shit's addictive, man. Like, you know, people are out here addicted to nicotine and stuff like that. Like, that's just addictive. But an opioid addiction, man, like, to tell yourself, like, man, I got to get over this addiction and get some help, that takes a lot. That really does. And that's like, you know, that's a salute from me, man, for real. That's honestly something very commendable. I gotta give props to Lil Xan for that one. That's really dope. So shout out to him, man, and hopefully everything with him gets better, and he steps out of this and knows that he will, you know, stretch his life out longer, man. Like, this stuff's killing people, man. It's not just Mac Miller. You got Lil Peep, you know, who died of an overdose. You got Fredo Santana, who, you know, died from you know, his lean addiction. I know that's not opioids, but it's still drugs, that hard drugs, and, you know, we don't want to lose more artists to this, man. I don't care if I'm not a fan of Lil Xan's music. Like, I don't want to see people die from this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not cool, you know? You know, when this stuff takes over your life, you know, it's always sad to see, and you can always tell when somebody is, you know, taken over by the drugs. You know, with Mac Miller, you could see that something was going on, but you can't really pinpoint it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not as clear as you may think, you know? It might seem easy to say, oh, like that guy needs some help, we need to do something, but is it really? Can you really just be like, oh, we need to help him out? Because when Kurt Cobain was around, man, like, people knew he was sad and going through shit, but like, no one knew that it would get to the point where it got to, where suicide would happen. And it's just something that we see amongst our artists. It's very unfortunate that it's the case, but I think with Lil Xan checking into rehab, I think other artists will see that and go, wow. I mean, if a guy named Lil Xan is checking into rehab for stuff, man, I think that, if considering this person has opiate addiction, can say that, I will get help as well, because it's just, too many good people we've lost from this, man. Just too many. And it's good to see him making the big move and saying, I'm going to get some help. If you're out there with an opioid addiction, people out there, if you're battling with that, if you know anybody out there, struggling with that, talk to them, people out there who struggling with this, talk to somebody, We can't hold this back and suppress these things. This is really, really important that we, stop it when we can, before it gets out of hand. Because this is something really serious, man. Like I said, lives are being lost. And that's not right. You should never lose your life over drugs, man. It's just such a unfortunate way to go out, And it happens amongst artists, and we want to see it slow down. Just slow it down, man. Just get sober and get help. It's, life is very fragile. It can be. And I think Lil Xan understood that with Mac Miller's death, because Lil Xan looked up to Mac Miller like crazy. So I think he saw his hero go down and said, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go down. I want to stay up here and do what I got to do. So shout out to Lil Xan, man. That's a big move on your part, and nothing but respect for that. That's what I'm talking about. Now, Base Entertainment, a company that is trying to shoot a TV pilot, is looking for someone to play XXXTentacion in a TV show. Now, my personal opinion on it, I think it's a pretty bad look. Now, I can only assume that the family of XXXTentacion is trying their best to get as much money out of this as possible. But can you really blame them? No. At the same time, I look at it and it's obviously a money grab, but like I said, can you blame them? They just got to do what they got to do and try to get that money, The way they're doing it, a lot of people look at it and they're just like, it's just, is it, a little tasteless? But it's, you got to see where they're coming from, I don't think it's necessary, and I'm going to just keep it a buck. I think biopics should be reserved for, like, legends. Like, I understand the career that XXXTentacion was going to have was probably going to be up to that, but unfortunately, I don't think he had enough time to cement himself to that type of status. I think he deserves a documentary. I think we should get something from it, but I think in time, like, this is all just a little too soon, And you can just tell that money is all in everybody's minds with this stuff. Nobody's looking at this and just, saying to let the man rest in peace. But they've been doing this with Tupac and Biggie for years. They want, not letting them rest. Just trying to find ways to make more money out of them. So this is something that we have seen before. This should not be a surprise to anybody that this is going on. But in my opinion, I feel like, these biopics should be reserved for the legends, like a Prince, Michael Jackson, Bob Marley, Tom Petty. These guys right here, who have had a super long career with a plethora of music. These are the people that I believe should have biopics. Now, this is not no disrespect to X. X had a great impact on the game, and I really do believe, if he wasn't murdered, I I really do believe his career would have, amounted to something very, very great. Because he was getting all the looks from all the big names, and I think it was gonna get to the point where he would have had that superstar status, like at a likes of which we never seen, because his fan base, oh my God. I mean, the X fan base, Drake fan base, Travis Scott fan base, Nicki Minaj fan base, they are all super, super duper loyal, man. Like, holy shit. Like, anybody that fan base that, makes the profile picture of the artist they love, like, when you see people do that, that's when you know that this dude, someone has a super loyal fan base. And X had that. But it's this TV pilot, I don't know. Like I said, man, they just need to give this more time. And I don't know. I don't like how people are using his name just to make more money. I mean, like, if you look at the Sicko Mode music video, there's a guy in the music video that has dreads, and a meteor comes and, like, takes that guy out. And a lot of people saying, oh, that's Drake dissing XXXTentacion in the music video. Like, no, it's not. It's not. Like, that's such a reach. Like, people out here are just trying to find ways to use this dude's name to get more money, to get more views. And I don't know, man. I mean, I could even say I'm talking about X right now because I'm trying to get more people to listen to me. But nah, I'm talking about this because I feel that people need to see exactly what's going on with this dude, And what's going on with him right now is that he's, you're a lot more big, you're a bigger name when you're dead than you're alive. That's just how it goes, especially when you get taken out the way he did at the age he did. And man, people recorded his dead body, his lifeless body, like that was on Twitter and stuff. So, like, the way he went out just publicized him in a way that I don't think anyone, in a way that no one saw coming, it's made, because of his death, it's made him this legend and this figure that it's very Tupac-esque, what I'm saying? It's very, very Tupac-like. So for me, I think that they just need to give all this, a year, like wait it out, man. Wait like a year, or like on his next birthday coming up or something. I don't know, man. All this stuff to me is just a clear money grab, and I don't. It leaves a weird feeling in my stomach. I don't know, but I can't blame them. Like if I was, if I had a son who was as popular as X and he passed away, I'm probably gonna want to get money out of it too. Like I don't see the problem in it, but I can see the problem in it, and that's why, like, I don't want to just say one thing one thing clearly. It's a very tough situation. What do you expect somebody to do in this? And at the end of the day, people are gonna do what they want to do. This is X's family that is wants all this. So if that's the case, man, let them do what they want to do. As long as they're happy and trying to get they're getting by, then just let it be, man. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. We've seen it before with Tupac and Biggie, and I don't think anyone's gonna stop people trying to make money off of this, man. This is just how it is. Some families might not, like with Mac Miller, his family might not want his music to be put out. And maybe with Lil Peep, it might be the same thing. But you got to understand that, people are just going to do what they want to do. Like, it's his family, so they're going to make the moves that they need to make. And now that I've, gotten over that, I can get into Mr. Anderson Paak's new album, Oxnard. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord, indeed. Ah, man. Look, this might be, I'm going to do a rundown of, like, album of the year, song of the year, music video of the year. I'm going to get to that on my, on the last, I'm stumbling my words with this one. The last week of December, I'm going to get to that because I really want to break down my top fives of the year, and I think Oxnard is probably gonna be in my top 5. Maybe because it's a recent album that came out that's super dope, but I really, really think this album is just, it's so good. Like, every song on this album is not bad. It's all good shit. Like, I was trying my best to find a way to, like, I went to this album and I was like, yo, I want to see if I'm gonna hate anything, but I'm not. Because Anderson Paak is doing his own sound. The intro to this, the Chase featuring Kaja Bonet, starts the album off super, super strong, man. That's how you start off an album, especially with the way that Anderson Paak is making music. It's perfect. He's got that rap swag with that Motown feel to it, that old school R&B feel to it, man. Perfect. Head Low is hard. Dope track, and it's really funny because at the end of the song he's like getting head from this girl and like the car crashes like while he's like still getting head from this girl. like I don't know, I find it really weird when like I hear like sexual acts in a song. I find it very uncomfortable, but this one, it was hilarious. Like, and the song's called Head Low, and it's like, that it's creative name. Like, it's creative, it's not stupid. He's not just trying to do things just to be raunchy. Like, he's got some funniness to it, so like I appreciate that. Now Tense, that's a hit. There's no other way to put it. Like, this song right here, man, is just gold. It's platinum. It's diamond. It's, oh my God, it's gold, platinum, and diamond all combined in one, man. It's just a beautiful song. I really like this song, and I know that Anderson Paak was going for a big hit on this. He even got Kendrick on there. I really, 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 really like this song. I talked about it in an earlier podcast, and I knew that when this song came out, I was like, all right, time for me to hop on the Anderson Paak train, because for me, I had a hard time getting into Anderson Paak. Not because I didn't like the music, I just wasn't ready for it. I don't know, like, sometimes with certain artists, you're just not ready for it. Like, for instance, Jay-Z's 444. I remember when it first came out, I was like, I don't know. Like, I heard about what it was gonna be about, and I was like, I don't know if this appeals to me. I don't know if this is what I would listen to and what would be attractive to me. And I listened to it and I liked it, but it didn't like hit me the same way. So like, that's an example of like an album that just like, I wasn't ready for, but it's not a bad album. It was a really good album, and Jay-Z opened up in a dope way in it. And I felt like Anderson Paak's the same way. And that's a, big, that says a lot, me comparing Anderson Paak to Jay-Z. So that says everything you need to know how I feel about Mr. Paak. Who Are You has more of a rap feel to it. This is when the album steps away from that Motown feel. I really like this one. Really cool track. 6 Summers is, chill vibe. Anderson Paak just spitting bars. Like, he got bars, man. Like, this dude can just do everything, man. Like, it's really scary. Like, the dude spits his ass off. He's got the catchy shit. Like, he's really good with it, man. He's really good with it. I stopped everything I doing when Smile Petty came on, man. That song is so smooth, and it's got that goddamn funky bass line, man. And Petty, when Petty starts, that's, holy shit, man. I love bass lines, man. And like I said, like, I've said it before, the stank face, ladies and gentlemen. You see that? That's the stank face. When you just hear something, you just like, just too fire, man. It's just way too fire. I love a fire bass line, man. I can't help it. I mean, I love a fire bass line so much that I started picking up the bass. I learned the guitar when I was 10. That was like my first instrument. But like through the years, man, all I've just really gravitated towards is a fire bass line. And man, I'm telling you right now, Anderson Paak is doing what he's got to do with that, man. he's fire with it. Mansa Musa featuring Dr. Dre and Coca Sarai switches it up. I wasn't too crazy about it at first, while it is a solid track, but then when I gave the album a second listen, it actually grew on me a lot. Like, I really, really, really like this song, and I don't know why I didn't like it at first, but that second listen, man, I'm telling you, when you give something a second listen, that third listen, even a fourth listen, is when you really understand what the song is trying to do. And I really understood the song's lane. Like at first I didn't like Dr. Dre's verse. Second time I heard it, I liked it. So, when a lot of people say they don't like a song, it's like, how badly do you not? Because, like, if you like the song a little bit, you might like the song even more the second time. But if you hate it, you hate it. You know what I'm saying? Brothers Keeper featuring Pusha T. It's a good track, but I wasn't too crazy about it. Paak ends it off right with some solid melodies. Pusha T's verse is really dope, talking about his brother and how, like, hey, he's going to do what he's going to do. And that's okay, because I'm always going to love my brother. And I really like that about this verse. Pusha T just being really honest. Anywhere featuring Snoop Dogg sticks to them chill, calm tones. Once again, the bass line is just too fire. Oh my God, man. I love a dope bass line, and Anderson Paak just knows what he's doing with it. I know he doesn't play bass. He's a drummer, but man, I need to figure out who the hell is playing the bass in this album, because just killing it, man. Just absolutely killing it. Trippy featuring J. Cole is the best feature on the album. J. Cole came around and said, I ain't gonna play around. I know Anderson Paak's dope. I'm gonna step up and do what I gotta do and deliver this fire verse for you real quick, so that way I don't look bad. Because, I really like Trippy. That was one of my favorite songs off the album. Cheers featuring Q-Tip. When I saw Q-Tip on the track list, I was way too hyped. Way too hyped. And this song switches it up. It has a different pace from the rest of the album, and this one was just a super dope blend of that rap and old school R&B sound. Like I said, man, Anderson Paak's got his whole genre, man. Dudes, Anderson Paak's sound is Anderson Paak, and nobody else is doing that. If there's anyone I could compare Anderson Paak to, it's the internet. And the internet's not, like, the internet's their own thing too, I would love to see a collab with them too. That'd be dope. Anderson Paak with the internet, that would be a really dope thing. I would sign up for that one, man. Sweet Chick featuring BJ the Chicago Kid. BJ the Chicago Kid is someone whenever I see him feature on stuff, I've never really listened to much of his solo stuff, but whenever I see him feature on it, I know he's going to deliver. It's like, he's like a Ty Dolla $ign. When you just see him featured on it, you're going to get something like really cool. And, but while this may be my least favorite song on the album, that does not mean it's bad, because, look, with this album, everything's so good. It's hard, something's got to be the worst song on the album, right? But it doesn't mean it's bad. It's still a solid track. It's got them cool guy lyrics on it. We just talking that shit about a girl on there, And for the most part on this album, it's very cautious and doesn't really talk about, Sweet Chicken and Headlaw are the only songs where it's like really like about like a girl and how like, they're balling and stuff like that. You don't really get too much of that, but with these two songs you do. But I like Sweet Chick. It's a cool track. It's definitely, it's got some cool guy bars on it, so I like that. And the outro on here, Left to Right, is a fun way to end the album, man. Left to right, left to right. Like, he throws up some like Jamaican patois never. Oh man, my parents are from Jamaica, man. I'm Jamaican American, so like when I hear all that stuff, man, I can't help but not like it. It's very hard for me not to. And like I said, that chorus, man, that left to right, left to right, like now that right there is fire. For real. I really enjoy that, man. That's dope. But when I finished this album, the only thing that I could think to myself is that it's time to put some respect on Anderson Paak's name. For Christ's sakes, man. Jesus Christ. Checks over stripes. You need to give some respect to Mr. Anderson Paak, man, because this dude's got so many intricate instrumentals, man. Like, I don't know how he does it. It's truly impressive, man. I'm literally wondering, like, how does anyone like try to do this sound? I think at the point he's at, I think it's just let Anderson Paak be Anderson Paak. There is not one bad song on this record. It may just be album of the year, if not a top 10 album of the year, and most certainly a top 5 rap album of this year, man. Like, bravo. Bravo, Anderson Paak. I was, when I was for this album, I don't know, something came to me. I was just like, man, I need to figure out my top 5 albums of this year. And I had a couple. I have them. I have them figured out. And it's probably more than likely that this album is going to be in there. I'm just so happy about Anderson Paak. And there's a really funny tweet I saw. I wish I was at the barbershop when I saw the tweet, and I wasn't expecting to see a dope tweet like this. So I didn't save the person who it was. But whoever it was, shout out to you. They tweeted that Anderson Paak is what Bruno Mars is trying to be. And that right there was really hilarious to me because, like, it's kind of true, Like, Anderson Paak is doing things that we've never seen before. Like, really, this dude is his own sound. Like, he's doing his own thing, and you gotta commend it, man. It's really dope. Shout out to him, man. It's so awesome to see Anderson Paak just deliver the way he is. And he knows he's the shit. Like, I think he knows that I think he knew he was the shit when Dr. Dre signed him. I mean, Dr. Dre signs you, like, that's the biggest cosign of all time. I mean, come on, like, you're gonna, cosign from Dr. Dre. That means you are talented. Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, The Game, Eminem, Anderson Paak, Kendrick Lamar. These are all guys that have been co-signed by Eminem. You gonna tell me any of these guys are not dope, have not cemented themselves in history? Like all these guys have put their mark on the game. And I don't think, and for some reason at the same time, I really feel we don't appreciate Anderson Paak enough. But I think after this album, the respect will be put on Anderson Paak's name, because it better be, man. This dude's just way too talented. Sometimes people are just so talented that they just need the recognition. They deserve the recognition. It's coming to them slowly but surely, because someone like me who loves hip hop, it took me a while to get to Anderson Paak. So I know I'm not the only one. But I think this album did it with Tints, showing people like, yo, this dude's got something completely different to bring to the table if you haven't heard him before. And after this album, I had listened to a bunch of stuff from Malibu and his previous album, I assume, and that was really, really dope, man. There's good stuff on there. I heard a couple of tracks on there. I was just like, yeah, of course this is dope. I mean, like, if Oxnard was this dope, of course this album is too. So, not surprised by that, man. So salute to Anderson Paak, man, for really delivering on another dope track, and I, wasn't disappointed, man. Really wasn't. All right, well, that's all that's relevant and dope in today's hip-hop music news, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy you came to listen for this short episode. Ain't no problem with a short episode, man. Something short, simple, and sweet and to the point, man. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm glad y'all able to tune in, man. Next week, we'll have a guest, hopefully, that shows up. Don't want to call him out or her out. Some people are busy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going, I ain't salty about it. It's just, people got to do what they got to do, and it is what it is. But anyway, thank you for tuning in to episode 11 of the TempahZone podcast. Until next time, y'all. Peace.